Hello, beautiful peoples of the interwebs. It's your host with the most icy hair, and today's a very special video for you guys. I've been planning this one for about 3 months now, and finally it became a reality. So without further ado, let's get right into the Trove Developer interview. Hey, Andrew, nice to meet you. So how about you tell everybody about who you are and a little bit about the company you work for?
Sure. So my name is Andrew Krausnick. I go by Avarem on Reddit, forums, all that kind of stuff, kind of my dev name in game as well. I work for a company called Try Worlds. We make Trove, which is what we're talking about. Basically, we're an online game company, an MMO company. So pretty much everyone on my team, we made Rift before this. And then, we kind of hit a point where the game was out. We wanted to kind of try some other things out, and we ended up developing that into Trove, which is what we are working on right now.
Ah, that's very cool. So what is Trove and why should people care about it?
Trove. Trove is voxel-based creative builder adventure game where you go out, you collect loot, bring it back to your home base, use it to power up, and then also use it to be really creative. So you actually build that home base, which you get to take with you. You get to build that. You also have your own personal world, which you get to build with other people, and all sorts of stuff. And then also we have a lot of community contributions. So you can actually make stuff outside of the game that gets into the game. So you can make, hairstyles, weapons, dungeons, all that stuff, and it goes into the game, and it's complete online MMO. So everything you earn, you can get anywhere else that you log into the game and play the game from.
That's pretty awesome. Now, you mentioned it was a voxel game. What makes it different from other voxel-based games?
Well, actually, a lot of what I just talked about are really the major differences. There's no other voxel-based game that's fully connected online that you can just play with friends anywhere at any time. Also, we have a lot greater focus on kind of character development, classes, combat, exploration of dungeons, and on top of that, we're updating the game really all the time. So we keep up a really steady 2 times a week update schedule, always adding new features.
Ah, that's pretty cool. So what inspired you to create a game like Trove? How did it come to be?
Yeah, unsurprisingly, I think probably we were playing Minecraft at the time, and we thought it was really, really cool. There's a lot of really fun things to do with it, and being MMO people and developers and players, we were like, oh, there's a lot of cool things we think we could do to kind of make it a different kind of game. We're not trying to go head-to-head with Minecraft. It's a great game. We like what it does. But we thought we could take the really cool stuff, like a completely modifiable, destroyable world, where you can build whatever you want and destroy whatever you want. We thought we could basically take that and make a really cool game out of it, which is what we were working on and where Trove came from.
That's pretty cool. So all of it sounds like a lot of work. Exactly how much time have you invested into creating a game like this so far?
We have invested, so the game itself, over 2 years, in some form it's been in development. For a long time, it was myself and Cortland, who's the other guy, who really started working on the project right off the bat. He and I kind of worked on prototypes for a while, tried out a bunch of different ideas, until, we tried some stuff out, we hit on this, and we've been working on this version of it for under a year now, like in full production. We had, obviously iterations on it, combat, all that stuff working for a while. But in terms of really cranking on the game, it's been about a year, a little bit under, for about 11 people. We're a very small team, and we're very open. We actually did a Reddit post recently, which outlines everyone who's on the team and what they've worked on in the past, currently working on, and what they're going to work on in the future.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys are very interactive with the community. A lot of developers now, they like to keep their development progress a secret. So why did you guys choose to go with the no NDA route?
Yeah, also kind of an experiment, but we really like it. It makes a better game. Just simply it does. The more feedback you get and the sooner you get it, the better your game is going to be. So as long as you're prepared to sort of deal with a lot of people telling you that things about your game suck, or they wish they had more stuff or whatever, which we are, it's just we are making a better game faster than other people can because we are asking for feedback all the time.
Cool. So let's move on to a little bit more about some specific features of Trove. So first, let's start by talking a little bit about the graphics. It has a very unique graphical style. In the future, do you think that we're going to see a visual overhaul of the game to make it more of an immersive experience?
So we're not going to really significantly update the visual style. Things we like about it are because it's relatively simplistic. Anyone can really contribute to the game. You basically just use colors and blocks to build things. And because it's stylized, it doesn't look awful. It just looks like, it's a stylized game. It's kind of simple. But those are things we like about it. We are adding other things to it all the time. For example, we are adding kind of our version of textured blocks to the game, probably in the next couple weeks. They look like other things you might have built in the game, so kind of 12 by 12 cube areas. But that is going to add a little more visual noise and a little more interest as well, which we're looking forward to. And we'll keep doing stuff like that. Some of our newest mounts I think are super cool, and we've learned a lot about how to make really good-looking mounts and pets and classes and stuff like that. So we'll keep getting better at that as well.
I see. Yeah, I've noticed you guys been adding lots of awesome stuff. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that. You mentioned that the community plays a big role in the things you add. So do you think maybe in the future we'll be able to see like user mods or texture packs or things along those lines?
Well, so currently the community can even add a lot of things, like I mentioned earlier, things like hair and weapons and dungeons and all that stuff, and we want to keep adding to that. If there are things that are moddable, that make sense to be moddable, because we are an online game where the server runs almost the entire set of game code, we want to provide things that go into the game kind of for everyone. So if you make a weapon, it goes into the game and everyone gets to earn that weapon. We are inspired a lot by kind of the mini games people are making in the server client oriented structure of Minecraft right now, and we're looking at what we can maybe do to add more of that kind of stuff. We added sports balls recently, which are balls you can hit around, bouncy balls, soccer balls, golf balls, all sorts of stuff, mushroom balls. And so that's really where we're thinking right now. In terms of community creation, it's providing more tools for things to build in-game and more tools for things to build out of game that go into the game for everyone.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with those updates, especially the music one, since I'm a musician myself.
Nice. You made anything yet?
If you go look at my homeworld at some point, you'll see I have a couple of songs I started laying out there, so maybe you can go take a look at some point. So Trove is one of the few games I've noticed that pretty much anybody can build anything anywhere. Do you plan on adding other tools that Trovian artists can use in their arsenal in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Building is obviously super important to us, and we've gotten a lot of feedback in terms of things people want that would let them build kind of more, better, faster, more efficiently, all that stuff. And that is something we are going to support. We're looking at how we can support in the relatively near future.
Okay, cool. Something else really cool about Trove that I like over other games is that it has a really expansive crafting system. Can you elaborate a little bit more, like the story behind that and where you see it heading?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, the crafting system started small, like everything else we do, and we've been growing it over time as we see good opportunities to grow it. So basically right now we have different crafting stations for different kinds of things. So if you want to terraform part of your world, you'll go to the world spring and craft a terraforming device. If you want to craft kind of more decorative objects, all the workbenches and different workbenches from different parts of the game. So the Fey workbench or the desert workbench or the Highlands workbench will give you those different things. In the future, actually something that people watching or listening to this might not know is you can't actually craft equipment right now in our game, which is, we think, a giant kind of empty hole that we want to fill. So we're going to let you craft equipment relatively soon. That's something that's important to us. And we think it's going to add a whole new dimension of kind of getting adventuring power and tying it into harvesting and crafting as well.
Yeah, that would definitely be a really cool feature. Based off of that, are you still going to have gear drop from mobs?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. This is meant to be another way to get equipment. You might craft the same equipment you get from mobs, but more likely we're actually going to put in a new slot type that is actually crafted only. So you both collect things from mobs and also craft to get the best possible power on your character.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So moving on, what are your future plans for classes and biomes?
So right now we are working on the Dracolite from the Dragon biome, which were community voted on biomes. And the Dracolite can turn into a dragon for his ultimate form, kind of like a standing man dragon that spews fire, a little Godzilla-esque. He has a little dragonling familiar that kind of charges up as he attacks guys that you get to shoot and release his power. And he's got a couple other cool abilities in there. And then the Dragon biome obviously has a lot of lava in it, a lot of like dragonling guys. And it's also super cool. That we are going to try to get out next week, the biome, and then a couple weeks after that for the Dracolite. After that, we're actually looking at the Candy biome, and the current forerunner for the class to put together with that is the Candy Barbarian. And we'll see where that goes. We think we need another melee class, and he seems like a good one.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like some pretty cool stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of people dying to that lava, though.
Yep, that's the goal. Now, we are moderating it. So if you're not looking where you're going, you might run into lava, but we're not trying to kill you all the time.
So another class I know that me and a few other people definitely want to see is a healer class. Do you think we'll have a possibility of that in the future?
It is a possibility. We want to make sure it's not a requirement. We want to make sure it's fun to do. It adds something to group play and playing with other people, but it doesn't make it so you need to have one to do the hardest content. And so that's what we're going to be balancing.
I see. Well, I think that would be really cool for like maybe raids or maybe like team PvP. Speaking of PvP, do you think we'll see that at some point?
We have no plans for PvP right now. We will never do official organized PvP in any way that is going to require balancing. And we don't really want to tune any of our stats or stuff around PvP. We're a lot more focused on things like the sports ball arena and stuff like that. If it seems like there is a reasonable way we can put it in without causing us to need to retune and rebalance, we'll look at doing it. But it really is not a focus for this game. This game is a PvE-focused game. And because we are a small team with limited resources, we want to stay focused as much as possible.
Yeah, I see. Well, that's always a relief to know that when I'm adventuring, I'm not going to be killed by some random person.
That never happened in Trove.
Okay, cool. So will we be seeing a type of raid or party system for the adventurous players looking for a bigger challenge?
So I don't know how much you spent time in the Shadow Arena, which we put out, I guess, like a week and a half ago now. But basically right now, those are almost always at cap, which is 8 people. Really, everyone just invites other people. And the idea is basically you go to the highest end areas in our game called the Uber Zones, and you can get pieces for shadow keys. You collect fragments, you collect gems for doing different kinds of content. You put it together into a key. You go to the Shadow Arena, which is actually a very challenging assault-style quest. And if you die, you can't just resurrect. You actually have to wait until the wave is over before you can resurrect. So if you don't have enough people or you're not strong enough, you're actually not going to be able to beat it and get the great loot, which is waiting for you at the end. And that idea is basically where our group and endgame content goes. So to add more variety there, we'll add probably more kinds of keys, maybe a candy key that gets you to the candy arena down the line, stuff like that. So yes, we like that endgame stuff. We like that grouping stuff. We don't want it to feel especially required in the game. But this feels like a pretty good middle ground where a lot of people start inviting you to these things. There's always kind of more demand than there's supply. So it feels like it's about at the right place.
Yeah, I actually was playing a lot of that in my recent videos, and it is quite a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Something I really like about Trove is how you get a little companion that adventures alongside you, but I feel like it's kind of like missing something. Do you plan on expanding it in the future?
Absolutely, yes. Our pets, they were put in. They're not really finished in our mind. We've got a lot of ideas. We've got thoughts about pet breeding. We've got thoughts about giving them little things they do in combat. I don't know exactly where we'll end up on that. It's not something we're working on right now, but it is something that is on our mind almost all the time. We love our little pets, and we want to get some time to make them really fun.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. So when Trove is finally released to everybody, it's going to be free to play, correct?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So some people might be wondering how they'll be able to support the game. What type of system is going to be in place for that?
It's exactly the system we have right now. So we have a store. A lot of it is ways to acquire things if you don't want to spend the time to acquire it. So unlocking new classes, stuff like that, you can get them just by playing the game. But if you want them right now or you want more, faster, you can do that. We're going to have some things that are cosmetic only, like class skins, which are going to be real money only, but also likely tradable. We have a few mounts that are like that right now. And basically that's it. So we're going to support it with that store. We're going to keep adding things. Anything which influences power, we are going to make sure you can get it both ways. And anything which we feel like is cosmetic, we will put it in there as tradable. And we also put other cool cosmetic things in the game. So if you're kind of a money-heavy person without as much time, or vice versa, you can acquire something really rare and cool in game and trade it for something off the store.
Oh, cool. So do you have plans to expand Trove to any other gaming platforms?
We are working on Mac. And in terms of other platforms, like game platforms, we'd love to. So if the audience is there, people are enjoying the game on PC, we kind of polish it up, we feel good about it. I can see us putting it up. Yeah, we've talked about other places. There aren't things we are working on right now, but there are things we are thinking about.
So maybe we'll see some controller support in the future for PC gamers?
It's not impossible.
That would be pretty awesome. So pretty much, what can we expect to see in the future of Trove? Where's it heading?
Oh, that's a big question. So definitely a lot more content, more classes, stuff like that. We're improving a lot of our monster abilities right now. We're adding shadow invasions. We're adding our player groups, which we're currently calling clubs, ways to band together with people, have worlds together with people. We're going to add transmogrification, which is the ability to kind of save off looks of equipment and use it to apply it to your character so you can look different, however you're feeling, whatever you're in the mood for, and you can collect that stuff. We're working on revamping kind of some of our clunkier systems, things like inventory, and we're also looking at really bringing our bad guys to the forefront, our shadows. They're currently invading our shadow arena. They're in our recipe layers, and they're going to be invading the world at large relatively soon.
Cool. That all sounds like some very exciting stuff to look forward to. Now, I notice a lot of users, or at least from what I hear from people, they're really interested in becoming a part of the community and providing their feedback on the early development. What's the best ways for them to get involved?
Reddit is definitely the best because it allows for conversation. People can offer input on what you've offered input on. So r/Trove. Down the line, we'll probably have some forums that you can go to. On top of that, we do have an email address at the top left corner of the screen at all times, alpha@trovegame.com. We do rarely reply to that. I know that kind of frustrates some people, but we always see it. Everything that goes to that email list goes to the entire team. We see it. We love getting feedback. That's why we're doing this. So, yeah, if you want people to kind of comment on it, go to Reddit. If you want people just to go straight to the dev team, email us.
Cool. That's some very useful information. Well, thank you for your time today. One final question that I have for you is, when the game is finally released, will you still be releasing weekly updates and interacting with the community as much as you currently do?
Oh, definitely. At least on interacting with the community. Updates might become a little more infrequent, but we never want it to be really rare. I mean, every couple weeks is really the goal, if not every week. I think right now we do 2 times a week. We probably will scale that back to 1 time a week at some point in beta, and then we'll evaluate it from there. It's really when we have the content people want while maintaining stability. Right now in alpha, the stability can get a little off. We can sometimes introduce crashes, stuff like that. And we're kind of comfortable with it. People know it's alpha. It lets us iterate on our features a lot faster. But we are going to cool it down a little bit to make sure we get stability up at the point when we get into beta that we feel that'll be a good idea. And in terms of community interaction, yes, definitely. This is a living game. We're going to keep working on it. Interacting with the community is a big part of that. So we're going to be there as long as the community is there.
Okay, cool. Well, that's definitely some exciting stuff. Do you have anything else you want to say in closing thoughts?
I don't think so. We've hit it all. Support Trove. If you are listening to this, watching this, and you don't currently play, $20 for instant access. Just trovegame.com. And you'll get there. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for talking to us. This is why we do it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. You have a good day.
All right, you too.
Well, guys, that was my interview with Andrew, a.k.a. Avarem. He's a really cool dude, and, it wouldn't be my channel without me having something special for you guys, so if you check the first comment below the video, if you haven't seen it already, there's a Trove Alpha 50 use key. 50 of you guys are going to get a Trove Alpha access right now. So definitely go use that key. And if it doesn't work, then that means 50 people already redeemed it. I really hope you enjoyed this content. It wouldn't be able to happen without you guys. I worked really hard to make this happen. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the questions I asked and learning a little bit about some of the stuff coming to Trove and other things like that. I used the questions you guys have asked me and others that I thought of. So for more awesome stuff like this, definitely be subscribed so that way I can bring you more stuff like this. If you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, then dislike it. Comment down below about anything you want to say. Also, if you think a friend would enjoy it, share with them or add to your favorites. You can definitely have them come check it out to get Trove Alpha access if they've been bugging you. There's a 50 use key down first comment on this video. And it was just really fun to do something like this. Like Andrew mentioned, check out the link in the description. $20 USD gets you instant access to Trove Alpha if you aren't one of the lucky people to get that key. Other than that, if you guys didn't know, I have that 500 subscriber giveaway going on for you guys right now, so check that out. As always, you guys are so awesome. I love bringing you special content like this, so I hope it was something you really enjoyed. As always, this is your host with the most icy hair, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for being so awesome. Peace!